All right. Welcome to part 2 of what to do when your book is not selling. Now, because we have to do, basically, I'm going to talk to you straight on this one, okay? Being point blank. So I gave you some morning bedhead Kramer hair to sort of lighten the mood. But look, first, if you haven't seen the first video in this series, the first video is purely just giving encouragement because we needed to start from a positive space, and like any problem in life, if you're positive in here and you're positive in here, it makes tackling the problem that much easier. Okay, so start there and then come back to this. Now, this video, okay, I'm going to talk straight about this and be very, very blunt. Okay, you published a work, doesn't matter, artist, writer, irrelevant. You published a work, okay, the second you make something and you want money for it, you just started a business. End of story. There's no other way to look at it. You are getting a product for a fee. That's business. That's how businesses work. So this as a disclaimer, and for your protection, if you're not set up as a business, you need to do that because there are legal procedures that need to be followed. There are federal laws to be followed. There are provincial laws to be followed. There's things that need to get done, and to basically save your butt from potential future trouble, look into doing that as per your province or as per your state or wherever you are in the world. Okay, now this is where we have to get into the part where writers and artists absolutely hate doing, because basically what we want to do, we just want to write, create our stuff, put it out there, call it good, right? But again, we have a problem. Book's not selling, graphic novel's not selling, whatever it might be. Okay, so what do? Notebook, or you can use your computer. Pen, important. Okay, what you got to do now is now you do the business thing. You have to. Okay, out of like a book's life, right, in terms of the creation of the book, maybe 10% is the creativity and the production of it, and all the rest is all business. The 90% is all business. It's the marketing, it's the running of the business, the administration, the whole 9 yards. And that is the sad truth of the way things are right now. The market is obscenely flooded, and especially now with AI and people BSing their way through the system with AI generated books, AI generated audiobooks. I mean, that's 100% cheating, and that's 100% ridiculous. And not only that, it's plagiarism, because those AI things glean stuff off the internet. So you're stealing to create something. So stop it, okay? Now, back to those of us who actually create their own material, okay? So what you need to do now is very simple, okay? I'm called this episode The Plan for a reason, and the reason is this. You need to sit down, make the time, and make a list. I don't have one in here, okay? But the point, well, I got some other stuff, my other project list stuff, but you can see the point, right? You can make a list of every single thing you are doing right now to promote your work, okay? Everything you've done. Doesn't matter how small, doesn't matter how big, okay? Write it all down, the whole thing. Think of everything. If you need to take a break so more stuff comes to mind, fine. Write it all down. That part's done, okay? Once that's been achieved and you got all your stuff listed, okay, and you got your list of, oh man, these are all the things I've done, then the next step is you look at your list and you step back, remove your, I guess you could say, passion for whatever item on that list, and you have to be objective, like 100% logical, objective. Step back and you look at each item and you say, okay, this thing worked, check mark. This thing didn't work, we'll put an X beside it, because just because it didn't work for this project doesn't necessarily mean it won't work for the next, but we're making notes of what's working and what's not. And you do that down your list, okay? Check mark, X, check mark, check mark, check mark, X, X, check mark, etc. Okay? So now, what you do know is, after that part is done, you've now taught yourself a lesson. You've discovered what is working. Now, you take those items that are working and keep doing them, right? Because they're working. So why not? For the ones that are not working, look at them closely and see, for starters, are you doing it correctly? Okay, with all these different platforms out there, all this reliance on online marketing and online, send everybody to Amazon, where there's more material than readers there, guys. Come on. Like, there's other ways to market your stuff. The point is, look at what's not working, and then ask yourself, okay, why didn't this work? Why did this particular, let's just say, promo item that I created, this little postcard thing that I posted on the internet, why didn't it work? Take a look, right? Maybe you misspelled something. Maybe your description wasn't terribly exciting. It sounded exciting at the time you made it, but now, some time removed, you look at it and you go, you know what, I could improve that. Or maybe you misattributed a factor in the story in your synopsis because you're just going off memory and you goof there, so you can correct that. And you look at everything you're doing that is not working. And then on the ones that can be fixed, fix them. Try them out. Give them around. The stuff that is plainly not working, then that items or item, whatever it might be, put it aside. Okay? They might work for the next project, but for this particular project, they're a no-go, at least right now. Okay? Because there's a truth about publishing that a lot of people don't understand. And it's simply like we're dealing with a market, right? And a market fluctuates all the time. This is why they have marketing firms and marketing experts. Okay? Vampires are hot one month, but then the next month it's, say, zombies, and then the month after that it's Christian romance, and then the month after that it's thrillers, and then and so on, right? And like in terms of the hot stuff, and then of course you have your little niches too, right? And some of those niches, some months, let's just say dinosaur fiction, that's a big deal. Next month it might be superhero. Like, in other words, you have to see. You can't rely on trends. You can't do that because they're constantly fluctuating, they're constantly moving. What you need to do is make your stuff stand out. And step one, of course, again, like I said, is you have your list, find out what works, what doesn't, keep what works, fix what's not working that you can fix, and then that which does not work, put aside. Okay? Try that out first. That's a method one. Okay, we're going to do another method in a different video, but right now, take all that stuff that's working, focus on that. Okay, see where things can be improved. And even the stuff that is working, see if you can improve them to work better. Right? Adjust some phrasing. Adjust how you pitch the sale. Adjust your little synopsis. Maybe you got too many hashtags. Maybe your business card is, it looks cool, but it's not very professional. Whatever the case, right? So look where you can make those adjustments for improvement. All right, and then that's where you start there. That's called the plan, right? It's called a business plan. This is how I'm going to execute my project in terms of the business side. This is how I'm going to execute my project in terms of the marketing side. This is how I'm going to execute my project in order to obtain readers, okay? And of course, as you're doing this, the big secret is one, yes, other writers and artists are readers, but don't market to them. So what you end up doing is you're in a group with basically every writer marketing to each other, who none of them could afford each other's books anyway. So it's a waste of air, it's a waste of space, it's a waste of text. There's no point. Go find your audience wherever it is. Hunt them down. And then when you do find them, don't blast them with marketing stuff. Be cool. Be one of them, right? Readers love creators who are ground level. Okay, this whole idea of like this ladder and these the upper echelon writers and then like the lower echelon writers, that's just nonsense. This is corporate BS that's just ruining everything. Okay, so get in there, be one of them, right? And then down the road, then you can start pitching your stuff right to your reader, right to the exact audience that you want. Okay, and again, you're using the stuff that works, and you're going to try it out and see what happens. And then after you do that, to be reasonable, you need to allow some times. Okay, so give it a month, give it 2 months, see what happens. Okay, and then you go back to the old notebook, go to the computer. Okay, this worked. This thing I thought that worked, and it worked kind of over here, didn't work with this particular audience, so I'm going to make note of that. This one for sure did not work. This one did. This one actually was super stellar, and so on, right? And you keep these notes, because what's going to happen is these notes that you're making for this particular project that you're working, in terms of promotion right now, then you could take those awesome things that work and later apply to the next project. Okay, so that's, again, we're on a kind of a time constraint. We can go on and on about this concept, but you get the idea. The point is, You have to list out what you're doing. It's one thing to have it all in a jumble up here. It's another thing to have it itemized. When it's itemized, you could look at it objectively, and then you could make objective decisions about what works and what does not. So yes, a little bit of repetition, but the point is you're on the business side of things now. Okay, the creation stuff is done. You have the thing that's been created. Great, good for you. You made your art. But now, if you want to share it, okay, and you want money for it, it's business time. So get down to business. In the next video, I'm going to offer another strategy that is quite effective and plays into what we discussed today. Okay, but we needed to do today's first because the next one will make more sense as per doing it the way we did it just now. Okay, so again, come back later after you've done your homework and we'll talk about another method to enhance your sales. See you next Authortube video. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one, because these educational things are very important. I've been doing this for 25 years and I've seen a lot. I've seen what works, I've seen what doesn't, and I've seen stuff down the middle. So please tune in. I have a lot to say.